Hi Rockstars, welcome to Dog Food 101. I'm really excited to bring you this segment because I think what we give our dogs on a daily basis in their diets is just so incredibly important, right? It determines their health, their lifespan, and their quality of life. But with the marketplace getting so big, it can be really confusing. So I spoke with a few of my veterinary friends, as well as did some research on my own and came up with some easy tips that you can use to choose a really great dog food for your pup. So the first thing you want to do is you want to consider your dog's lifestyle, breed, and activity level. So for example, if I've got a puppy at home, right, he or she's growing, so they're going to need a lot more food than say a sedentary senior dog. If you have a dog that is a rock star hiker and loves to exercise and hit the trails with you every day, she's going to need a lot more food than your Netflix watching couch potato. So when you go to the store, you're going to see formulas that actually say these things on it, right? Like for an adult dog, for a puppy, for a senior dog, for healthy weight. So that's going to clue you in to this may be a really good choice for your dog. So once you've got a few brands that you're interested in, the next thing you want to look for is you want to make sure that they have the AAFCO seal of approval. This is an organization that tests dog food and makes sure that each one out there is formulated to meet all of the nutritional requirements that your dog needs on a daily basis. So you want to check that out. So you'll see something that says somewhere on the label, grain-free chicken recipe is formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by the AAFCO dog food nutrient profiles for adult maintenance. So this is going to clue you in that this has got the AAFCO seal of approval. It's definitely meeting at least the nutritional requirements that your dog needs. The next thing you want to do is you want to look at the ingredient list. This is really, really important. I think as mamas, we've got super educated, right, for ourselves, for our families, about when we go to the grocery store, we don't just look at the calories anymore, right? We look at what's actually in that food. So you want to make sure you're doing that for your pup too. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the first ingredient is a protein. Our puppies need protein. That's the nutrient that they need the most. So the first ingredient should be something like chicken, beef, or lamb. If you see something such as meat meal, meat byproduct, you do not want to give this to your dog. In fact, we don't want this anywhere in the ingredient list because this is the non-rendered parts of the animal. It could be anything, it could be kidneys, it could be heart, it could be a hoof. These are things that I don't want Gatsby to have, right? I want him to have the actual like meat, the chicken, the muscle. So the next thing that you want to look for is there synthetic ingredients, chemicals, unhealthy things in the ingredient list. So for instance, there could be high fructose corn syrup, right? We don't want to eat that. We certainly don't want to give it to our dogs. Or different labels like yellow number, whatever, BHT. These are things that, again, are put in there to preserve the food, but are not necessarily good for your dog. So I thought for an example, I would give you a healthy treat brand, right? This is Bosie's Bakery. This is something that Gatsby and I really like. When I look at the ingredient list here, all I've got is organic barley flour, peanut butter, bananas, turkey bacon, that's it. I know all those things, I'm super comfortable giving this to Gatsby. On the other hand, here's an ingredient list for a popular bacon treat that has pork, barley, oatmeal, brewer's rice, soybean meal, ground whole wheat, glycerin, sugar, corn gluten meal, wheat flour, wheat gluten, water, ground yellow corn, bacon, soy protein isolate, salt, phosphoric acid, natural flavor, bacon fat, preserved with BHA, right? We don't want to give our dog that. Citric acid, natural smoke flavor, dried cheese powder, calcium, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, and the list goes on. This is definitely something that I do not want to give Gatsby, okay? I wouldn't eat this stuff. I certainly don't want him to. Plus, like I said, there's awesome treats like this on the market. You know, why are you buying this one? The next thing that you want to consider is, does your dog have any allergies? So when we think of as allergies, right, we always think of like corn and wheat. But actually, the allergens are actually in the protein of a food. So your dog could be allergic to chicken, it could be allergic to beef. So if you notice your dog has allergy signs such as like, you know, itchy ears, skin rashes, maybe he or she gets ear infections a lot. Gatsby had that as a puppy. We actually had to change his food. Or maybe has some GI issues. You definitely want to talk to your vet because your food may be the culprit. And if that's the case, that's really good, right? Because there's so many things out there, we can easily change the food up. And the next thing you want to do is decide what kind of food do you want to give your puppy. So for example, do I want to give my puppy a canned food? Or do I want to give him kibble like this, some dry food? And when you're looking at that, you want to consider the water content. So for example, there is 70% water in this canned food, of moisture. So if I'm giving my dog this canned food, I know that he may need less water throughout the day. Whereas if I give my dog the dry food, he's definitely going to need a lot more water. So that's something that you want to take into consideration, because water is vital to make sure that your dog is functioning properly. Another thing that you want to decide is, how do you store your food? So for example, canned food, you want to store, once it's open, you want to make sure you store it covered in the refrigerator. Or with the dry food, you want to store it in, still keep it in its container, but you also want to put it in either a plastic or a metal tub or something. They have these all available on Chewy at all the pet food stores, but you want to make sure you're keeping your dog food fresh for your dog. And always read the labels, because I've been to the store and sometimes they have stuff out there that's expired or it expires in 2 weeks. Well, you're not going to go through this whole bag by then. So make sure that's something you don't want to buy. And finally, be aware that there are other products out there on the market. So for example, this is from the Honest Kitchen. This is a dried food, but all I have to do is, everything's dehydrated in it. So I just add water to it, but it's actually all really fresh, great ingredients. There's also some dog food delivery services that'll even cook your dog good food. But don't worry, because next week we're gonna go over some stuff you can do at home to cook your dog some fresh food. So I hope all of this was super helpful for you, and check out our handout. So next time you go to the store, you'll know exactly what to do. So keep on rocking, rock stars.